From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. It's Tuesday, June 24th, and here are today's headlines. The intense heat wave that gripped the region yesterday will continue into this evening. The National Weather Service's extreme heat warning is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, with heat index values up to 105 expected in the Champlain Valley. Vermont's Department of Health notes that extreme heat can increase the risk of headache, nausea, dehydration, and heat stroke, among other conditions. The department reminds Vermonters to drink plenty of non-alcoholic and decaffeinated liquids, close window shades during the day, and to seek relief in air-conditioned or shaded spaces wherever possible. You can find safety guidance and a map of cooling sites on the Department of Health's website. A center dedicated to opioid-use disorder treatment has opened up in downtown Bennington. The facility will expand access to methadone treatment, counseling, and other support services. The area previously only had access to opioid drugs such as buprenorphine, but not to methadone, which is a more tightly controlled drug. Kelly Doherty is Deputy Commissioner at the Vermont Department of Health, and she says Bennington residents had to drive substantial distances to get the treatment.
They've had to travel either to Rutland, Brattleboro, or North Adams, Massachusetts to get that care. And often when you are particularly in early stages of treatment, you have to go every day.
The Bay Area Addiction Treatment Program is operating the center, which runs similar ones in Berlin, St. Albans, St. Johnsbury, and Newport. The independent state board overseeing Vermont's healthcare system has a new executive director. Green Mountain Care Board named Emily Brown to the post on Monday, according to a press release. Brown most recently served as the state's Deputy Commissioner of Insurance at the Department of Financial Regulation. Brown will succeed Susan Barrett, who served as the Care Board's executive director since 2013, and Brown's tenure begins on August 18th. Kinney Drugs is taking over the former Rite Aid stores in Springfield and Brattleboro. That's according to Vermont Business Magazine. Rite Aid announced last month it was closing all its remaining stores, including 5 in Vermont. With the additions, Kinney will have 23 drug stores in the state. The Springfield and Brattleboro stores will open under the Kinney banner in early August. And a new independent movie theater plans to open in downtown Burlington this fall. Member-run nonprofit movie theater Partisan Film will be a 2-screen theater, and it will include a cafe and a small used bookstore in the lobby. The theater will screen independent and foreign films 7 days a week. Brett Yates is one of the co-founders of Partisan Film, and he says watching a film in a movie theater generates conversation.
It's like during the post-movie conversation that so much of the movie's meaning is uncovered and generated. I just think movies are so much more vital in a theater setting that generates these interactions among moviegoers.
Burlington has been without a theater since Merrill's Roxy Cinemas closed in November. Coming up, scientists say time is of the essence in trying to stop the spread of a tiny invasive worm that's threatening Vermont's beech trees. That's after this.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency, where support comes from VITA, supporting business growth and innovation in the Green Mountain State. From agriculture to manufacturing, energy to food production, find solutions that turn your business dreams into reality. Visit VEDA.org and see how VITA can help make it happen.
Over the past decade or so, there's been an increase in invasive insects that are doing serious damage to trees and plants all across Vermont. Now there's a new pest that's swiftly spreading across the state, and scientists are racing against time to learn more about the tiny worm that's feeding on the leaves of the state's beech trees. Vermont Public's Howard Weiss-Tisman has more.
It's a beautiful spring morning at Jamaica State Park in southern Vermont. The West River is high after all the rain we've had, and Josh Hallman, who's with the Department of Forests, Parks, and Recreation, traveled down here to check up on Vermont's latest invasive pest.
We are heading out on the river trail in the park, which is a trail, as the name suggests, goes right along the river.
Hallman is walking along the river trail looking for signs of beech leaf disease, which has exploded across southeastern Vermont, spreading from 2 towns in 2023 to more than 40 last year. Hallman stops at a young beech tree sapling just a few steps from the parking lot. The tree looks pretty healthy at first, but holding a leaf up to the sunlight, Hallman sees a sure sign of the infestation.
Oh, wow, look right here. That's beech leaf disease right there.
Hallman points out darkened bands that run parallel to the leaf's veins. The dark area is actually hundreds of microscopic worms called nematodes that are munching on the cells of the leaf. It is not a good sign.
This is probably the pest that we are probably thinking about and trying to track more so than any other this season.
Hallman expects the disease to show up in a lot more towns this season. And it's just the latest invasive pest that forestry experts like Hallman are worried about. The emerald ash borer is expected to kill most of the ash trees in Vermont, and the hemlock woolly adelgid threatens hemlock trees, though the state has had some success in controlling its spread. Beech leaf disease is new to this country, and there's no widespread strategy for controlling the tiny worms responsible for it. Scientists don't know how the worms move around, whether it's through water or wind, or possibly by attaching themselves to animals. Hallman says over the next few decades, it's likely the pest will kill just about every beech tree in the state.
Yeah, it's sad, and it's alarming. But it's not like all hope is lost.
As Hallman and his staff search for signs of beech leaf disease, scientists around the country, including UVM Associate Professor Nick Afflito, are trying to learn more about the invasive pest.
Researchers from all over are gathering, sharing what they're finding. Like I said, we're in a very much a discovery phase with this disease. So it is kind of an all hands on deck in that sense, where we just have to try different things and figure out what's working.
Afflito is leading a project in the UVM research forest in Jericho that's trying to figure out what's attracting the nematodes to the beech leaves, using chemicals that give off smells of the beech tree buds. If Afflito can figure out which scents attract or repel the nematode, then it might be possible to better control how they move through the forest. Invasive insects most likely arrive in this country on wood products. Back in the countries where they originate, trees have developed natural ways to combat their spread. But when they arrive here, the trees have no way to combat the damage they can do. The disease will most likely continue to spread across the state, but Afflito says he and other researchers will continue working to try to help Vermont's forests adapt to the changes that humans are bringing on.
We're not going to stop invasive species from coming. And that's sort of the reality we live in. So I think we need to just figure out how we can bridge the gap to the new paradigm we're in.
The state has a website, vtinvasives.org, where the public can report outbreaks of beech leaf disease, and scientists and foresters expect the outbreak to grow this summer. For Vermont Public, I'm Howard Weiss-Tisman.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Jen Jarecki, Adia Golston, Mary Engish, and Mark Davis. Today's episode was edited by Liam Elder Connors, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. Talk to you tomorrow.
Planet Money helps you understand the economy. We find the people at the center of the story.
Garbage in New York, that was like a controlled substance.
We show you how money influences everything.
Tell me what you like by telling me how you spend your money.
And we dig until we get answers.
I had a bad feeling you were going to bring that up.
Planet Money finds out. All you have to do is listen. The Planet Money Podcast from NPR.